Hey, good morning and welcome to episode 114 of the Michael Pina Senior Show here, January 25th, 2019. And I thank you for joining me. I am your host, Michael Pina Sr. Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise man saves for the future, but the foolish man spends whatever he gets." And I like that, and I think that I got to get more, reading some more of the Proverbs because there's a lot of good money habits and studyings within there, But Meg and I, we're going through financial peace, and that financial peace, we went over baby step 3. And for everybody out there, that don't understand the baby steps, that's a Dave Ramsey philosophy, which I follow, which I'm so glad that we're doing this at Financial Peace. I'm hoping that it'll help me help you, and it's obviously going to help myself and Meg a lot more too. So baby step 3 is a 3 to 6 months, fully funded emergency fund. And that could be tough. That could be real tough because there's so much stuff that comes up in life. Number one, you want to get out of debt. So baby step 2 is the debt snowball. You want to get out of debt. You get out of debt, and now you got to save up a 3 to 6 months emergency fund. So 3 to 6 months, just remember, is what your expenses are. And if you're doing your budget, February 1st is right around the corner. You should have your budget set for February. But if you've been doing your budget, I can tell you right now exactly what my average expenses are now for the year, because we've been doing our budget through, everydollar.com for a year now. And it's pretty simple now to figure out exactly what you're spending and what you average. So you take 3 to 6 months of those expenses. And what I liked about the class was, when people say 3 to 6 months expenses, right? So say you need $5,000 a month. If 3 months expense will be $15,000, 6 months would be $60,000. But what I liked about the class, when I learned, is, which side do you lean towards more, the 3 or the 6? Well, it was explained, and I liked it how it was explained, that if you have a job, you're married, and you're both in a job that's incredibly steady, you got a steady income, and you know exactly what you're basically getting every week and every month, you can lean towards that 3 months emergency fund. But if you're like me, where you got an irregular income, and unfortunately, sometimes the way that I live, and it's starting to, right now in January, it gets really old because I'm not working that much. But it's almost like month to month, my income changes. You want to lean towards more that 6 month emergency fund. So that's the battle that we're in right now, trying to, get to that point where we can get that 3 to 6 months emergency fund saved. And it's difficult. You can't look at it as an investment. And that's another thing that I like, that when you're putting together an emergency fund, that's insurance on yourself. And that's if you're out of work, or something happens, you get hurt. I got hurt this last summer. Thank God for my disability insurance. But, Meg's been out of work for over a year now. And, so you want to be prepared for a 3 to 6 months emergency fund. You want to be prepared, because emergencies are going to happen. Things are going to happen in life. And it's sad to say it happens, And it's true, and I hate this stat, and it makes my stomach hurt sometimes when I hear it, that 80% of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So, you look at 10 of your friends, 8 out of 10 of them are living paycheck to paycheck. So you miss a paycheck, it could be pretty devastating if you miss a paycheck. But you know what? It all comes down to your budgeting first. So how do you know what you're spending? Or how do you know what your expenses are? How do you know how to figure out your 3 to 6 months emergency fund if you don't do a budget? So, make sure you work on that budget. I love numbers. I'm a numbers guy. And now I've got these numbers on a spreadsheet, and I know I could tell you exactly what we spent our money on in each category for the year. And Meg and I were going over that. And some of the things can be eye-opening, or how much you're spending on each category. And you try to figure out, can you trim some of those things? Or do you got to start making more money so that you can, continue to spend the money in those categories? And that's a decision that you got to make. And that's what we do. We got to be, intentional with our money and make sure that we're doing the right things. But it all starts with the budget. So speaking about what else I'm doing with my money, here's a quote from Will Rogers. The difference between death and taxes is death doesn't get any worse every time Congress meets. And that could be true in a lot of ways. But last year, we got a break. We got, the tax laws changed, the tax reform bill. It is pretty significant. And it's going to help. It's already helped. I did Shannon's taxes. And that's another thing, too. I mean, I was a licensed professional as a tax preparer. I went to school to be an accountant, and I never finished that. But I was a licensed tax preparer, so I feel confident, and I like numbers, like I said, and I like doing things on my own when it comes to doing my own taxes. And I just did Shannon's taxes, and it's huge, humongous, the tax reform bill. And the biggest change out of that is a standard deduction. Shannon got, with the baby this year, she got to file a head of household. And just so you know, the standard deductions for a single person last year, 2017 taxes was $6,350. Now it's $12,000 for your standard deduction. Married filing jointly, which is Meg and I, we're still waiting on a lot of the things for our information before I file mine, but it was $12,700 last year. This year is $24,000. Which is awesome. That's subtracted right from your income, so you don't have to pay taxes on that. And married filing single, they're gonna whack you on that. $6,350 for last year, $12,000, so same as being single. But the marginal income tax rates and brackets have changed too. Look those up. Go online. Look that up and see where you stand. Because, I used to itemize my deductions where, medically speaking, that used to be my biggest line item that I could deduct as well as my interest on my home. Well, now that my home is down to like $100,000 and our interest, we pay 3.2%, interest rate on that. It's not much of a deduction. Medical, now that I work at UPS, we were itemizing close to $15,000 a year on average, paying for our own insurance and also with the co-pays and deductibles and all that. Last year, I think I came up with like $1,500. This year, I came up with $800. So it's not even a deduction anymore. So for me, I'm taking the standard deduction, which is huge. And it can be huge for you too. So make sure you look into that. I don't suggest to you that you do your taxes on your own. You should go to a tax professional. And I can coach you up on that. You can reach me at coachp2210@yahoo.com. Fontaine, ask me a question. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get back to you. I've been incredibly busy. We are going to be going live here January 27th, which is only 2 days away. I didn't advertise as much as I thought I was gonna, because I'll tell you right now, I'm a little nervous. I didn't know where we were gonna be because I had work being done, I had electrical work being done, and then Paul Hiltz from UPS came in here and he did, I'm not doing any more work in here because we're moving. So I had Paul just finish up some sheetrocking stuff in here. So you want a handyman and you're living in this area, Paul Hill, 617-719-6647. He does everything. He's been great for us. He's going to be helping us handle our punch list on our home when we go to move. But when it comes to the live show, January 27th, 7 p.m., help me out and watch that, okay? Because I didn't really advertise for it because I didn't know if I'd even be ready for it. But I didn't want to, not do it. So I'm definitely going to be doing it. That's 7 p.m. this Sunday night. So that's only 2 days away. And in the news, I got to congratulate Dan B. And that's Tom B's son. And he was promoted to the coordinator professional of scouting by the Cleveland Indians. That is unbelievable, Tom. I mean, we love sports. If you can make an income, doing sports. I mean, I'm getting ready. I'm gearing up for lacrosse and I'm doing a field hockey clinic. I'm making an income as a sports official, which I love. It's transferable. That's how I'm able to move to New Hampshire, and I'm still going to have work because I'm a sports official. Tom, your son doing that with the Cleveland Indians, man, I hope I could take a trip out to Cleveland, maybe go to a game with you or something and meet your son. That's incredible to me, and that's, my son is leaning towards a profession in sports, and I hope that he can find his way and do something in sports. So, I mean, listen, let me give you a shout out. If you get a good promotion, you're doing something at UPS, you become a full-time driver, something like that, every step of the way, if you do the right things with your money and live on less than you make, I hope to God that, I was talking to some young guys before Christmas. They were telling me how much money they were making driving for UPS. And I said, listen, after peak, after Christmas, it's going to go away. So don't go spending your money on everything. Put money away. Live on less than you make. And now those guys are back working part-time. And I hope that they took my advice. I mean, you just live on less than you make. That's the problem with America today in this society. And then it's what puts us into debt because people are, spending more than what they're making. And, they're going into debt. And I don't want that for you. So those are some big things in the news. And also this Sunday, January 27th, QB velocity with today's quarterbacks. Tomorrow's quarterbacks are made today. I almost screwed up by saying. Tomorrow's quarterbacks are made today. Coach Pina, my son, and Coach Pina, yours truly, will be at Elite Football Academy in Weymouth inside. So, check that out at efa.com and join us there if you got an aspiring quarterback. So that's all I got for you today. Get your taxes done, get your taxes prepared, make sure it's done right. If you got questions on that, let me know. All right. But until next time, you know what I say. We'll see you guys Sunday night. And I want to win. I want to help you win. Let's win together.